We have Lenny Abrahamson, director for Room.
Hello, everybody. Luckily I was sitting down when I found out, because I think I probably would have fallen over. Yeah, just incredibly excited and very honored, because I think the thing that means so much is that it's the vote of your peers, it's the directors in the Academy who make that decision. So it just felt very honored. I think Room is it's a film where the direction is, I hope, sort of subtle and almost invisible, and so it's particularly nice that other directors recognize the work. I think choosing to make this, so in Room terms, getting married is probably the answer to that question, but and it has paid off, I'd like to say that, just in case, I think in Room it was just sticking to the guns in terms of really having a pretty bold structure in the film. Movies in two halves. It's very unconventional, and kind of trusting that I knew how to make that work and to preserve the tension into the second half. And then the biggest leap that you make, I suppose, is in Room is also casting Jake, because it's never possible to know when you make that decision just how it's going to work, even though he was manifestly an amazing and talented little boy. But just believing that the chemistry would come between him and Brie, believing that he would become confident enough to give that performance, and I think in manifestly he did, and I'm very, very proud of him. Well, I think the whole movie is really, it's centered on the victims. I think one of the things that Emma and I talked about a lot was making a movie which was not in the terms of the kidnapper. We deliberately keep him as a kind of pathetic and peripheral character. We don't big him up in that movie villain sort of way. And I think that's the most respectful approach that you could take, bearing in mind the sorts of things that real people have experienced. We certainly researched real cases and tried to be as truthful as possible, and also to honor the experience of people who've really gone through it, particularly in terms of how that interview scene works towards the end of the movie. Because both myself and Emma had seen those sorts of interviews, and we wanted to, I suppose, hold a mirror up and say, well, we as a society have to think about how we treat people who've gone through terrible things, and that we should treat them not as a resource for entertainment, but as people who need care and compassion.
We have to wrap it up, I'm sorry.
Thanks very much, everybody. Thank you. Thanks a lot.